advising the Afghan military, they say. Again, the president will be outlining this new strategy, 6:25 this morning. So coming up, we will take you there live for the announcement. And of course, how does this affect the Marines at Camp Pendleton as well?
Everybody waiting to hear. Yeah. Turning now to the drug wars. All of the violence recently has some local lawmakers up in arms, and they have joined together in writing a letter to President Obama about their concerns.
Yeah, you got that right. And Lene Lewis is down near the border right now, and Brian Bilbray is one of those people who's getting involved. Good morning, Lene.
Good morning. You know, he recently wrote a letter to President Barack Obama letting him know about his concerns regarding issues with the border and drug trafficking and violence. And he joins us this morning to tell us all about it. Good morning, first of all. Thank you for getting up early for us.
Good morning. It's not that early for somebody who just flew in from Washington.
Oh, goodness. Well, then we appreciate it even more because I'm sure it's been a very long day for you. But tell us about the letter that you wrote to the president and the concerns that you expressed to him.
Well, my concern is that with all the media coverage and, you know, on the East Coast about what's happening in the Middle East, they forget that right in our own backyard, we've got a war going on. Over 6,000 people killed last year. We're on the glide slope for 12 just in the Mexican region. And that we really need to take care of our own backyard and make sure that we take care of this. Traditionally, Washington is intimidated by the challenges along the frontier here, and hopefully we'll get them to take the time to learn the facts to be able to take appropriate action.
And here we are at the border, along the border near Tijuana with the Border Patrol trucks present, and we've seen the ATM vehicles going by protecting the citizens of the United States. But this issue goes beyond the border and into Mexico. Talk a little bit about the working with Mexico, if you will, and the efforts that you think that we should be taking in fighting this war.
Well, somebody's worked with Mexico for over 30 years. I think our biggest thing is taking the time to go over, talk to them, and having dialogue. I mean, I meet with the ambassador in Mexico periodically at least every month or two. And I think the biggest problem is understanding how much violence has happened down there, that you've actually had about 600 police officers killed last year. And that we need to understand that controlling our side of the border is essential if they're going to be able to maintain their side of the border. And this attitude of somehow if we ignore the problem, it'll go away, that there's too much political risk at talking frankly about how bad it's getting, is a problem we've always had with the border, be it immigration, be it pollution, be it drug smuggling, be it money laundering. It's always been something that everybody likes to step aside because they're worried that somebody may attack them for saying the wrong thing. And it's time that we really have frank discussion, be willing to say, we got to do our part, and we've got to make sure that Mexico wins this war because we want to fight this battle in Mexico, not in the streets of San Diego.
And certainly a lot of people in San Diego concerned about what's going on across the border because they travel into Tijuana for jobs and for shopping and just, you know, to do daily business. A lot of folks worried about all of the violence that we've seen just across the border as well.
Well, in fact, we're seeing the activity across the border being curtailed extensively. You know, myself, I grew up down here, and the fact is that Baja has always been part of our family criteria. The last two Christmases, my family has gone to El Salvador rather than Baja. That just shows you how bad it is that when a local like myself, who is culturally tied across the border, abandons that tie and moves to another part of the world because of the problems, shows you exactly. And people are doing that across the board. You'll find a lot of us who have historically crossed this border are not doing it now.
Right, even with the spring breakers and their vacation coming up, we're hearing that a lot of them aren't going across the border. Let's talk a little bit about Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's visit to Mexico. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that Hillary is learning the process. I think she's been around a lot, but very little contact with Latin America. And I think that she may still be stumbling and learning the way across, but it's part of the learning process. When you got somebody who really hasn't had the experience, it really is a steep learning curve to try to sit down and address the problems along the border, especially now that it has become so chronic and so bad. And so I think that she's going to catch a lot of flack from both sides. I think that there's going to be a lot of action, at least a lot of show of action. And my concern is that it be backed up with substance. And so that's really what's going to test of how the new Secretary of State is able to grapple with this issue, because we've got to understand that this problem is across the border, is both of us, and we should have been addressing it earlier. That's one of the reasons why I went back to Congress.
Last question for you. Have you gotten a response from the president on the letter that you sent to him about this issue?
Well, I like to think the response to my letter is the fact that he is now announcing a whole new initiative at trying to bring resources down along the border and address this. I think that the fact is taken on the senators that have been blocking military aid for the Mexicans to fight the drug cartels is a response to the letter. But I just hope that as we do this, that we make sure that this isn't used as an excuse to pull back our interior enforcement, because to win the battle at the border, we need to stop the illegal activity. We're talking drugs, guns, illegal immigration. We're talking money laundering inside the United States and Mexico, not just along the border. The problems at the border are a symptom of deeper problems that are within our country and within theirs.
Congressman Bill Bray, thank you so much for taking time for us this morning. We appreciate you meeting us down here at the border. All right, Dan and Sandra, there you have it, straight from the Congressman, his thoughts on the issues along the border and what he would like to see our government doing to help Mexico fight this problem. Back to you in the studio.
And getting a first-hand look himself, which is, you know, not a lot of congressmen go down there to the actual border and check it out for themselves, so that's cool.
Yeah, especially after just flying in from Washington, so it's been a long day probably for him.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Lene, thank you so much.
Thank you,
You're
Lene.
welcome.
Okay.
People in North Dakota are trying to deal with a grim new prediction about just how high the Red River could eventually rise.
Yeah, this morning, folks in Fargo are dealing with what could be a huge disaster. The river has risen 20 feet above the flood stage. Take a look at some of these pictures. As you can see, entire barns are underwater. A couple of hospitals even last night announced that they're going to start evacuating their patients because the floodwaters could get so high that it could actually affect the hospital. The evacuations come as weather forecasters predict even more rain. It could actually hit 43 feet above flood stage, and that would top the previous record of 40 feet above the flood, which was set over 100 years ago, back in 1897. So, wow. Oh my goodness gracious, and it's still raining and snowing and the ice is melting and just crazy.
Unbelievable. Joe Lazaro will have more on that in just a little bit.